It all comes down to this. After an entire year of grueling battles, we only have 2 teams left. And only one can be remembered forever as the winner of eternal glory. Which is why here in Renk Talks Ball, we're gonna predict the grand final of the Copa Libertadores 2024. In the Estadio Monumental, a team will be crowned champion on November 30th, but only a few weeks ago here we witnessed the semi-final clash between Atlético Mineiro and River Plate. The Brazilians had earned a 3-0 lead in Belo Horizonte, which meant that River had to make the comeback. Everything was set up from the start. The fireworks and 80,000 people screaming out of their lungs like it was the Colosseum gave this semi-final one of the best atmospheres we've ever seen in this competition. River obviously had the initiative, and through some set pieces they created a couple of chances. But Mineiro's defense remained incredibly solid, and the home team seemed to have no idea how to actually break through, often finishing the play with long distance shots. River probably deserved to score at least 1 goal in the first half, but the crazy part was that it was Atlético Mineiro the one to have the clearest chance. When in the 36th minute Craneviter had an awful first touch, which allowed Daverson to face Armani one-on-one, but the experienced goalkeeper got the better of the duel. Although after making contact it could have been a penalty for the Brazilians, which wasn't checked by VAR. Early into the second half, Mineiro had by far the clearest chance of the game, when a powerful shot from Scarpa hit the crossbar and bounced off the line, and the rebound from Daverson was saved by Armani, which kept River in the tie. The Argentinians gave in to desperation, and Gallardo subbed in the wonderkids Echeverri and Mastantuono, who quickly made an impact into the game, creating more threat. But even if they got through Mineiro's low block, the shot stopping from Everson was superb. Gonzalo Piti Martinez was subbed on, and with his set pieces, River had multiple chances to score. But time and time again, Everson was keeping his goal untouched. Once it became clear that River would not have enough time for a comeback, the game died down. The Estadio Monumental that exploded with noise and flares before the game was now as quiet as a graveyard, only chanting again around the 90th minute to save face. The truth is that despite having multiple chances, River failed to create clear-cut opportunities, which means they are eliminated and won't be able to play the final at home. And that benefit will instead go to Atlético Mineiro, who will play their second ever Copa Libertadores final against Botafogo, who traveled to the Estadio Centenario in Montevideo to face Peñarol, essentially with a B team. Having won the first leg in Rio de Janeiro 5-0, they just had to make sure to not have the worst second leg of all time, and they would make it through. But if there's one thing that you can never take away from Uruguayans, is their pride and their spirit. And with all they had, even when they knew it was close to impossible, Peñarol went for the throat and created chance after chance after chance. It wasn't until the 30th minute, however, that they would get the reward, when Jaime Baez sent a missile to the top right corner defended by John Victor, scoring one of the best goals of the tournament and giving Peñarol the lead. Only 3 minutes later, from a corner, Peñarol almost get another one, hitting the post with a header which would have been very scary for Botafogo. But the game was stripped of any drama when at halftime a fight broke out inside of the pitch, and the goalkeeper for Peñarol, Washington Aguirre, stepped on John Victor's leg, getting himself sent off and leaving Peñarol with only 10 men and still having to score 4 more goals to progress. With an extra man, Botafogo took control of the game, and in the 54th minute they even won a penalty. However, the decision was overturned by VAR after a quick check confirmed that there was no handball. And with this newfound momentum, Jaime Baez would strike again with another banger, curling his shot to the far post, and giving Peñarol a 2-0 lead. And things got scary for Botafogo, where only 4 minutes later, right back Mateo Ponce got himself sent off with 2 quick yellow cards, leaving the game 10 versus 10. But for some reason, it was Botafogo who went on the offense after this. In the 78th minute, Marlon had a one-on-one opportunity which was saved by substitute goalkeeper De Amores. If there was any doubt, however, in the 88th minute, Thiago Almada, after linking up with Marlon Freitas, scored for Botafogo to put the tie away from reach. Right after kickoff, Batista scored for Peñarol again, but it was only a consolation goal, as the 3-1 win only means that Botafogo win the tie 6-3 and advance to the Copa Libertadores final for their first time in their history. And now in Buenos Aires they will face a team that won the Copa Libertadores all the way back in 2013. And we have another all-Brazilian final just like in 2020, 2021 and 2022. And this also means that a Brazilian team will win the Copa Libertadores for the 6th time in a row. Now, let's take a look at both teams and their road to the final. Atlético Mineiro kicked off Group G with a massive 4-1 win away in Venezuela against Caracas, then beat Rosario Central and Peñarol at home. They also beat Rosario Central in Argentina 1-0. Peñarol ended their winning streak by beating them 2-0 in Uruguay, and at home they got to put 4 past Caracas once again. In the round of 16 they struggled against San Lorenzo, but after a 1-1 draw in Buenos Aires and a 1-0 lead at home, they just about made it to the quarters, where they played Fluminense. At the Maracaná they suffered a last-minute winner, but in Belo Horizonte 2 goals from Daverson were enough to knock out the reigning champions. And in the semi-finals they eliminated the last Argentinian team, River Plate, by beating them 3-0 in Brazil and holding on in the Monumental. In Group D, Botafogo had a slow start, losing at home to Junior and away to Liga de Quito to start their campaign. But they didn't look back from there, winning in Rio de Janeiro against Universitario and getting revenge against Liga de Quito. Then beating Universitario again in Lima and securing qualification with a 0-0 draw in Colombia. In the round of 16 they were the underdogs against Palmeiras, but they had a great game at home, winning 2-1, and they were leading 2-0 in the second leg as well. They almost threw it away near the end, but they somehow managed to hold on and advanced 4-3 on aggregate to the quarterfinals, where they faced Sao Paulo. After wasting a huge amount of chances at home, they were leading the second leg at the Morumbi, but suffered a last-minute equalizer. Luckily for them, they prevailed on penalties to make the semi-finals, where they thrashed Peñarol 5-0 at home, and by only losing 3-1 in Montevideo, they made the final. Now it's time. Is it gonna be Botafogo's first or Atlético Mineiro's second? This one is gonna be super close. Botafogo is currently one of the top teams in the Brasileirão, while Atlético Mineiro is in horrible form. This would mean that Botafogo is the most consistent of the two teams, but when it comes to the clutch factor, I've just seen how Atlético Mineiro are able to do it over and over again in this competition. It sounds a bit counterintuitive, but I see the likes of Daverson, Hulki, Arana, Scarpa, and especially being coached by someone like Gabriel Milito, and I think it's simply too much. So, in my opinion, the winner of the 2024 Copa Libertadores is gonna be Atlético Mineiro. Best of luck to both teams, and may the best win. And this is how my predictions are going. Again, the semi-finals were perfectly balanced, as I correctly predicted Peñarol to win the second leg, but River did not even win their home game like I predicted, bringing the total score to 70 correct predictions and 52 incorrect. Let's try to make it to 71 to close out the year on a high. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I wanted to apologize for the lack of videos in the last few weeks. The end of the year has been quite hard on me, but I at least wanted to get this out for you guys. Thank you once again to following me through this entire journey, and we'll see you after the final on November 30th. Thanks for watching again, and I'll see you all next time.